As the countdown begins, fear and uncertainty grip North America. Experts warn that the worst disaster in the continent's history is about to strike, and no one knows if they'll make it out alive. As the storm clouds gather and the winds howl, the question on everyone's mind is, will North America ever be the same again? Join us on a journey through the eye of the storm as we witness the full fury of this devastating disaster and discover how the people of North America are banding together to fight back against the unthinkable. In 2021, the United States was hit by 97 different types of natural disasters. 64 were caused by severe thunderstorms, 14 by wildfires, heat waves, and drought, and 12 by floods and flash flood. Those that were left had been decimated by winter storms, cold waves, and tropical cyclones. In addition to being rare occurrences of nature, natural catastrophes are differentiated by the tremendous economic damage and/or loss of life they cause. When ranking the world's largest countries, the United States of America comes in at fourth. Despite the fact that its broad territory is home to a wide range of climates, the United States of America continues to be afflicted by a wide array of natural catastrophes. 8 of the 10 most expensive natural disasters in the United States were hurricanes, with Hurricane Katrina in 2005 costing an estimated $182.5 billion. One of the worst hurricanes to hit the continental United States was Hurricane Katrina. Nearly 2,000 persons lost their lives, making this natural disaster one of the deadliest in United States history. The loss of life was far more tragic than any of the property or financial losses that were sustained. A rise in global average temperature is associated with an increase in the frequency and intensity of both droughts and storms. More water vapor released into the atmosphere means more moisture available to fuel stronger storms. During tropical storms, higher wind speeds may occur when there is more heat in the atmosphere and warmer temperatures at the surface of the ocean. Higher locations, normally protected from the eroding effects of waves and currents, are becoming increasingly at risk as sea levels rise. It's undeniable that Turkey had a major catastrophe. Could North America be next? Let's start by discussing how terrible the incident in Turkey actually was. Those still living in the southern Turkish province of Hatay are worried after a 6.4 magnitude earthquake and a 5.8 magnitude earthquake hit the area just weeks apart. Turkey's Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu said at least 3 people had been killed and 213 had been injured by recent earthquakes after a large government hospital in the city of Eskenderun, located in the northern part of Hatay province, announced it would be evacuating patients. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights reports that the earthquake was felt in neighboring Syria, where around 500 people were injured in the northwest region. Locals said more buildings had collapsed, but most people had left after the initial tremors, and the streets were lined with trash and old furniture. The Turkish Disaster and Emergency Management Authority, AFAD, confirmed 1 death in the town of Samandag in the province of Hatay. Recent earthquakes, while weaker than the 7.8 and 7.5 magnitude tremors that ripped a path of destruction through southern Turkey and northern Syria on February 6th, threaten to cause even more devastation in an area where many people have fled their destroyed homes for the safety of other towns and villages outside the earthquake zone. The greater earthquake was centered in the Daphne neighborhood of Hatay, where many locals had complained about the Turkish government's lackluster response to the earlier earthquakes, as reported by the Turkish Disaster Management Organization AFAD. Ata Kosar, who lost his brother, sister-in-law, and nephew when their nearby luxury flat block collapsed during the earthquakes 2 weeks ago, said, "I was using our heater to try to stay warm, demonstrating what to do in case another earthquake happened. Their home is only 1 floor." Mayor Lüftü Savaş of Hatay, who has been dealing with some of the worst devastations in Turkey, expressed his worries that the most recent earthquakes had caused even more destruction across the province and the potential for additional loss of human life. His words, "Several buildings were damaged, and there are some people who are stuck under the rubble." Even if other buildings collapsed, most people in Samandag had already left after the initial quakes. 1 death was recorded in Samandag, according to the country's Disaster and Emergency Management Authority, AFAD. Trash cans and abandoned furniture littered the otherwise empty streets. An Antakya resident by the name of Muna Al-Omar said she was camping out in a park when the 6.4 magnitude earthquake hit. "I thought the world was going to split open under my feet," she sobbed, holding her 7-year-old boy close to her chest. "I felt like the ground was giving way from under me." To wonder, will there be another aftershock, is perfectly fair. She questioned it. Those who remained in Hatay for an additional 2 weeks following the initial quakes said they did so out of fear of the total destruction of their homes or because they believed they had nowhere else to go. The death toll from the earthquakes that hit Turkey 2 weeks ago has risen to 41,156, AFAD reported. As it was estimated that 385,000 apartments have been demolished or seriously damaged, and many people are still missing, this figure was only likely to climb. At least 47,000 people have reportedly died in the conflict between Turkey and Syria. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the president of Turkey, has said that in 11 of the provinces hit hard by the earthquake, construction on about 200,000 apartments will begin next month. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said, while in Turkey, that Washington would help for as long as it takes. Blinken's comments came as rescue efforts were winding down and the focus shifted to urgent shelter and reconstruction work. The destroyed section of Hatay province was visited by Blinken and his Turkish colleague Mevlut Avosolu on Sunday. Blinken pledged 83 million euros in aid to Turkey and Syria as a direct result of their visit, on top of the 71 million euros that Joe Biden had already pledged. Blinken said, "It's hard to put into words. He has seen countless villages, streets, and buildings have been severely damaged or completely destroyed. Recent earthquakes have reportedly damaged structures in several cities and towns in rebel-held areas in Syria, according to reports from local search and rescue agencies and the Syrian Civil Defense, often known as the White Helmets. They reported casualties from falling objects, crowd crushes, and people jumping to their deaths from rooftops. About 356,000 pregnant women are estimated to be among the earthquake survivors, necessitating rapid access to health services, as reported by the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA. There are around 38,800 women who will give birth in the next month in Syria and Turkey combined. This includes 226,000 women in Turkey and 130,000 women in Syria. Many of them have sought shelter in makeshift camps or living in the open, where they face severe weather and lack of basic necessities like food and water. The northwest region of Syria, already in ruins due to the civil strife that has lasted for more than a decade, is estimated to have lost 4,525 lives. Difficulties in providing aid to those in need are exacerbated by the fact that the area is currently dominated by insurgent fighting forces loyal to President Bashar al-Assad. There are concerns that the actual number of fatalities is likely to be substantially higher than the 1,414 recorded by the Syrian government in areas under its control. Despite the second tremor, this holds true. As of recently, 197 trucks carrying humanitarian aid from the United Nations had crossed into northwest Syria through two distinct border crossings, according to a representative from the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. Authorities in that area have been under pressure from the World Food Program to stop blocking humanitarian deliveries from Syrian government-controlled territory. Natural disaster strikes in Turkey again, this time sending shockwaves around the globe. A magnitude 7.0 earthquake devastated the Aegean Sea region of Turkey, killing close to 100 people and injuring over 1,000. Richter scale readings of the earthquake were taken. The calamity has forced thousands of people into homelessness, and many more are missing and likely dead. As a result of this tragic event, individuals from all around the world have offered their support and assistance to Turkey. However, the prospect of North America being the target of the next strike is a major cause for anxiety. A catastrophe on par with the devastation in Turkey and elsewhere in the world, as predicted by the experts, is long overdue in North America. Several fault lines in the region could potentially trigger an earthquake, tsunami, or other natural calamity. The recent spike in the frequency of natural disasters occurring all over the world has increased the prevalence of fear of the unknown. Now that we've established that we're talking about disasters, it seems appropriate to focus on some recent tragedies. The most serious question is where, if at all, a second tragedy would strike in North America. The state of California serves as a location for the formulation of the first hypothesis. The most recent happenings are most likely to take place on the West Coast, which includes California. The Pacific Plate and the North American Plate are both moving relative to one another by 750 miles, and the San Andreas Fault is the only thing that keeps them apart from one another. The San Andreas Fault runs right through the middle of the state of California. After running a simulation in 2008 called Shakeout Scenario, the United States Geological Survey, USGS, determined that a magnitude 7.8 earthquake in Southern California may kill up to 1,800 people, with the majority of fatalities occurring in Los Angeles County. Roughly 50,000 people might be hurt, and between 500,000 and 1 million others might have to flee their homes. And then it looks like Oregon is up next, due to the location of the Cascadia subduction zone above the San Andreas Fault. It is a convergent plate boundary where the oceanic plate is currently advancing beneath the northwest corners of California and the states of Washington and Oregon. However, the plates that make up the San Andreas Fault move laterally past one another. The Oregon Department of Geology and Mineral Industries considers the Cascadia Fault to be the state's most dynamic subduction zone. On average, every 450 to 500 years, an earthquake of magnitude 8 to 9 is predicted to strike the area. An earthquake of unprecedented magnitude hit the state in the year 1700. The state government claims that several more faults in Oregon cause earthquakes between magnitudes 5 and 6. North America has experienced its share of natural disasters during the past few years. Hurricanes, wildfires, and floods have wreaked havoc throughout the numerous regions of the continent. However, the next major catastrophe has the potential to be an even more catastrophic event, leading to widespread destruction and fatalities. The most crucial query to ask is, what can be done to get ready for something like this? Natural disasters can't be averted, but their impact can be mitigated with adequate planning and preparation. To ensure that they are ready to respond correctly when natural catastrophes strike, individuals, communities, and governments must take precautionary measures. One part of this tactic is to invest in disaster-proof infrastructure, including earthquake-proof buildings, flood-proof barriers, and early warning systems. Moreover, it requires teaching the general public how to behave in risky scenarios and giving them the tools they need to stay safe. While the rest of the globe waits for the next natural calamity, one thing is clear: North America needs to be ready. The recent events in Turkey are a sobering reminder of the catastrophic power of natural disasters and the importance of being ready for anything. By working together and taking preemptive measures, we can ensure that we are ready to face any challenges that may arise. The entire world has seen the devastation that natural disasters may cause. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown the significance of being both prepared and resilient. Many people were caught by surprise by the outbreak, which exacerbated the widespread panic and chaos that ensued. The need for planning, clear and effective communication, and teamwork were also highlighted. Because natural disasters can do far more damage than man-made ones, it is crucial that we learn from our mistakes and take precautions against them. In conclusion, the recent calamity in Turkey was a wake-up call for the rest of the world. But it's important to remember that natural disasters can occur at any time and in any place. As a continent, North America needs to take precautionary measures to ensure that we are always ready to deal with any emergency that may happen. By working together and investing in resilience, we can decrease the impact of natural disasters and make our communities more resilient to future challenges. To accomplish this, we'll need to collaborate. That's all for the video. We will be right back. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.